I, Katie Samuelson, have read the full contest rules and accept the nomination for the G2 Overachievers 2018 Grant. I am a wife devoted to helping my legally blind husband as he awaits a pancreas kidney transplant. I am a daughter blessed with a supportive parents, a mother who shares an equine passion with my daughter. Now I'm a proud grandmother to an amazing little boy. I am a small business owner and millwright. My passion for horses and people led me to become a professional Association of Therapeutic Riding instructor, as well as the director for an equine therapy called Beaming. I own and operate a restaurant, small convenience store, bait shop, as well as being a union millwright. I help my husband deal with his many medical challenges. These are full-time commitments for anyone. I also own and run a stable with 20 horses that are used by Beaming. I am the center director for Beaming, which is bringing equine-assisted mobility into new growth. I operate the stables, oversee Beaming's daily operations, schedule riders and volunteers, teach riding lessons, and handle community outreach. I work with our board and the community to build relationships throughout. I work part-time at Beaming, flexing my schedule around other commitments. That's why people call me an overachiever. I am passionate about serving people in the community, especially those with special needs. I grew up with horses, and I just love showing the sport of horsemanship to anyone who is interested. Serving people and providing equine-assisted therapy to special needs children, youth at risk, and the veterans are very dear to my heart. I also love supporting and empowering other women to live out their dreams. I'm passionate about finding collaborations with other nonprofits and service organizations so that more of our community is served. I understand that if I win this honor, the taxes are my responsibility. After working with my accountant, I intend to contribute the remaining of the proceeds to Beaming as a charitable donation. Between my jobs, I have adequate amount of money to live on. I want Beaming to thrive, and this much money would make a huge difference in the lives of so many. This would be my heart's desire to help fulfill my mission. I have endless ideas and passion to provide more services and opportunities to help the community, initiatives to find ways to create funding, including wigs for kids, job opportunities for teens, and ideas to support families within our community. I'm never afraid to take any kind of challenge. I'm not afraid to ask others for help. Those are in need by sharing their time, treasure, and talent. I have learned to be an overachiever by helping others set the stage for success and build one and another up. The dictionary says an overachiever is to perform better, to achieve more than expected, especially by others. People tell me all the time, Katie, how do you do it? How do you do so much? I tell them, I just do it. 1 year ago this week, our barn roof collapsed. After 20 inches of snow collapsed our riding arena. I jumped into action and I found volunteers, my family, and I hired labor to get the barn functioning again. We could serve our riders in roughly 13 days after the collapse. As I mentioned before, my husband Hank has medical issues, major medical issues. I juggle his daily needs, dialysis runs, and sadly, his numerous surgeries. I struggle. I've had to learn to balance and find strength within, and during the most challenging days, I'm positive by nature, and I focus just on that. I started helping at Beaming about 9 years ago after my daughter discovered this fine organization and encouraged me to join her as a volunteer. She was impressed that I was so happy, and she asked me to share this experience with her. I came from a horse family, and also my nephew did not speak until he was roughly 4 years old. Being with the horses and the special activities also allowed him to find his voice. He also loves dogs. I assumed the responsibilities as the director about 4 years ago. This was an unpaid position. Last year, I finally started drawing a paycheck. Personally, I have assisted 147 riders, 2 of which I am particularly very close to my heart. Both were wheelchair bound and now can ride and walk to various degrees. Several students from the at-risk high school youth project I started have graduated. There have been 20 that have went through the program. We recently started a successful women's empowerment project with 31 participants at our first session, and a red, white, and blue series for veterans, EMT, police officers, dispatchers, and fire professionals. 32 participants came to our very first event. Not only Our clients and guests are impacted. Our volunteers are touched daily by beaming. They grow and change and deal with their own issues as they help others to success. On a side note, this is the third year of raising also funds through Owens Ovation Scholarship, allowing 2 classes of students to attend beaming for free. My goal is to set up a scholarship for the community members who would not otherwise be able to access beaming services. I would assemble a community-based advisory board called the G2 for the Good. It would screen applicants that would thrive within the gift of these terms established. This charity would work with beaming to continue the process of changing lives one ride at a time. My husband's health combined with my multiple obligations can make it hard for us to have valued, treasured time together. That is not always in balance, and I feel bad that he sometimes spends days in the hospital alone. Beaming's budget, as with many nonprofits, is tight. Sometimes it's hard to find a consistent amount of volunteers due to time constraints in my personal life. I know that I cannot market the drive for volunteers consistently. The organization does not have funds for volunteer coordinator. I get help from the online area volunteer screening network, but it's very time consuming. I would use some of this money to help hire a part-time volunteer coordinator for 2 years. Beaming has never received $50,000 in grants or scholarships. I will apply smart planning to use the $50,000 in the best ways possible. I would hire a part-time volunteer coordinator to oversee recruitment and scheduling. Not only will this help in a short term, it gives Beaming time to explore the resources and make sure this permanent position gets filled and added to our budget. I would develop an advisory committee to oversee the G2 for the Good committee. And with the balance of the funds, I would continue to develop the initiative, individual, and group offerings to meet the needs of riders in our community. It would be great to send additional people through PATH training so they can be certified instructors as myself. And of course, the horses eat a lot of food and need medical care and supplies, all of which can stretch a budget thin. There is a measurable difference. Beaming served 1,000 people in 2017, and we are on track to serve over 1,300 rides this year. We have many testimonials I could share with the committee. If you would like to see them from rider and or family members testifying the differences Beaming has made in their lives, I have attained measurable differences pre- and post-assessments, including veteran blood pressures. Beaming was going through a tough time when the board asked me to assume the position of center director. We have came a long way since then, establishing long-range strategic plans, moving from the red to the black in our budget, and we directed an additional instructor and part-time grant writer. It did take a while to get the organization back on track. I'm proud of where we are today, changing the lives one ride at a time. The activities that I just mentioned have been predominantly done in the last 24 months. With getting our budget back into the black in those 24 months, our long-range planning has completed in 2018 with our grant writer starting in the fall of 2018 and our third PATH instructor receiving her certification earlier this year. To the G2 committee, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart and from our clients, staff, volunteers for considering me and Beaming for this awesome opportunity. I thank you very much. Katie Samuelson.